Hey there guys, it's Mia here. I am so excited. I want to make sure you guys can see me. I'm so excited. I wanted to share with you a quick message that for me was so powerful, and I think that anybody in this community would benefit from hearing it. So if you're here, even if you watch this as a replay, let me know what your thoughts are. Look, I've spent the last 2.5 days, and today I have a couple calls too, but I spent the last 2.5 days calling former clients. Make sure you guys can see me here. Is that the case? Calling past clients, and I'm just going to share with you what has happened and from those conversations, and what I realized that I think everybody here could benefit. Now, I know this, that you're only in this community because you signed up to watch my webinar years ago, attended a Giant Experience Master Training online or in person, came to a Time for Mommy event, coached with me in some way, bought one of my online courses. So you know firsthand the work that I've done. You followed me over the years. That's why there are thousands of people here in this group, because that's how you came. I mean, it's the only way you could get inside of this community is to request being here. So that's why you're here. And I had the opportunity to speak to just a small subset of my past clients. It's a practice that I like to hold every year and a half. I reach out to past clients and say, what are you doing? Like, where are you at right now? And the reason I do it is because I do have the opportunity to know of their success, while I'm coaching with them, and sometimes even a year out from coaching with them. But often, clients that I've worked with in longer periods of time, I don't know where they are because they've created success and they've moved on, and some of them do come back at times, but some of them don't. And so once they create sustainable results. So in any event, this has been mind-blowing to me, and that's why I wanted to do this live. And I talked about it the other day, but even after yesterday and speaking to a few clients, all of who, man, I talked to one client. She told me that she has registered, as a result of the work that we've done together, over 90 trademarks, and she had even more copyrights, or vice versa. It was like 90 and 100 and some. And that's because she understood when I teach about how to not only create your intellectual property, but how to protect it. It's something that I've taught my clients about deeply. I have had one of my clients who I talked to recently, as a result of her protecting what she was doing, her company. She was using her proprietary system in her company. But when we were working together, one of the things I asked her to do was to trademark it. And her company came for her and tried to claim it as their own. And because she had followed what I mentored her around and protected her trademark, she was able to win in court, right, against like a company that had, multi-million-dollar legal budget, a legal department. And I say this to you guys, so hang in here, okay? I say this to you because not all advice is the same. And when you get great advice, it sustains. So my journey of talking to clients over the last 2.5 days has blown even my mind. Now, I know that everything that I teach you is real. I know it's based on the results and transformation that I personally have experienced, and I don't teach things that I've studied. I teach things that I learned, that I do, that work. So I believe the reason that my clients have created amazing results is because they are just applying the things that I have done step by step, and I can walk them through it because I've done it. So none of it is like this hypey thing. Some of these women I hadn't spoken to in 4 or 5 years, and the thing that honestly surprised me, it wasn't really that they were still in business, and it wasn't even that necessarily that they maintained 6 figures, right? It was literally, and has been, the mindset that they all share, right? Like, they all have the same mindset. And the first thing that I notice is that successful women don't think that they have arrived. This is like deep, right? Like, successful women don't feel like they have arrived. They all ask me this question: what's next? I want you to just think about this, right? Like, the women are already successful. They've been able to maintain their success. And the women that I spoke with all asked me what's next, right? But they're looking for their next level. And that's the thing that I think is important to understand, is that if I talk to women who have had less success, or who don't have the habits of being successful, they think they've arrived. They think that, like, oh, I figured it out. I'm doing this landing page, or I already did this. I'm going to teach myself this. It's a different mindset. But the women who have been able to create success, maintain their success, they don't feel like they arrived. And I called to say hello, how are you? No chasing, no, selling, because that was not my intent. My intent is, like, where are you now? What's going on with you? I haven't seen you. I don't know, what's going on in your world. And I'd like to know for my own, for my own purposes. I want to know that my clients do have the ability not only to create success that I see, but it is sustained over 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? Like, that's pretty cool. And the ones that I was able to speak with, they don't feel they arrived. They're like me. Like, they're all telling me about things like, I still have this notebook that I took the notes. I was just referring to the notes that remember when you were teaching on. They all are still students of the thing that made them begin to create their own pivot. They did the work, of course, but they still are students of it. And I want you to hear me, because a lot of people don't understand, like, what success really looks like, and we think it's like glitz or glamour, or you see so much online that's marketing. But I promise you that one of the greatest things is something that is tried and true. The second thing that I recognize that they each were doing is that, I would say it this way, that standing in your value is the real transformation, right? So, look, I've spent 20 plus years helping women package what they know. But something that I realized this week is that packaging isn't the greatest transformation of what I help women do. The greatest transformation to me is when a woman finally believes she deserves to stand fully in her value. And it's something I've been teaching on for years. When this happens, literally everything, and I mean everything, changes. It's like your prices changes, your confidence change, your marketing changes, the conversations you are having, they change, because standing in your value is the essence of your value. And so when I come into contact with women for the very first time who have a dream of hitting a goal, a lot of times they think, Mia's going to help me, package what I do, and she's going to help me price it, she's going to help me position, market it, and sell it. And I do all of those things. But what I actually do the most is help the client see the value of what it is they bring to the table. And therefore, when we get that part straight, all the other things change. And it's a deep conversation, because a lot of times we don't know. We think it's like, oh no, that's why. Oh no, it's just a package. And so you're online, you're with ChatGPT, or you're in these 3-day summits that are free, and you're just trying to glean things. And you do all of those things, and on the other side of it, still aren't charging like you need to. You know what I mean? Still don't have the confidence to stand in your value. Still, the marketing isn't speaking to the ideal client in the way that it should. And it really has to do with mentorship that truly sees you, calls you out, and shows you the mirror of what it is that you do not see about what is really great and big about you. Mentorship that holds you accountable and makes you keep your promises to yourself, to honor your bigness, honor the thing about you that I would say is unique, that's different, that's incredible. I think the third thing that I learned here is that what got you here won't get you there. There seems to be that. Like, talk about, for a second, I want you to talk about, I want you to think about the conversations that you've had that are different levels of thinking, right? So, being in the room with the right people, having the ability to hear things that you have never heard before. It's one of the things that I talk about at my events, which is being able to speak another language. Y'all know, you've heard me say this over and over again. You want to be in a room with people that are speaking a language that is elevated. They are saying things that you have not said or thought or heard from your peer circle. And the women that I had the opportunity to speak with, listen to the birdie, speak with, they all understand that what got them where they are is not going to take them where they want to go. And the reason that they are seekers, reason that they are, they'll ask you, like, how can you help me? Is because they understand that. And that's what successful people understand. When I reach out to my mentor, I reach out because I'm not broken, but I understand that my growth demands that I keep sharpening my saw. And so therefore, that's the first thing I'm going to do. I remember years ago in business, when I first got started, I started making some money in the business. And I remember saying to myself, like, the first thing I'm going to do is invest in myself, like, with a full solution, right? Like, I want to be free, so I've got to invest with people who are free so they can show me how to do the same. Fast forward 20 plus years, I've worked always from the comfort of my home, in my yard currently. And I say this to you because I never felt like what got me at each level was enough. I felt like what got me here wouldn't get me there. What got me here, I needed to know, like, how do I go from here to here? Meaning, if I was at 0 and I wanted to go to 100,000 and I got there, then I was like, well, what can I learn from you to get me from 100 to 250? Then what can I learn from you to get from 250 to 5? What can I learn to get from 5 to 1 million, right? That's how you get to a place to sell tens of millions of dollars of your intellect or your coaching via packaging. It's not that I never had the thought, like, got it, you know what I mean? I'm there. And even in speaking with these women who each asked me, what do you have now? Literally, like, imagine I'm not talking to them about coaching or buying anything. Mia, what are you doing now? Like, Mia, what do you have? Mia, how could you help me? Because they understand this. And I want to share the how successful women think, okay? Because sometimes we don't think about it, and it's an important thing to think about when you are maybe stuck in your story. Not stuck, but stuck in a story. Stuck in a story that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I work with women a lot of times who, in their profession, they love what they do professionally, but they're burnt out. They're tired. Now they want to run a business, and they're like, how do I find the energy to run my own business? And it's the completely wrong mindset to have, because the reality is you're going to build a business around your life. The business is going to be your transition plan, or your ability to retire, create some extra income for yourself, or the business is the tool to create the difference in your life. And yet, so many people willing to expend all their time, their energy, and their efforts for someone else, for some level of unpredictability, when the thing that is staring them in their face, their talent, their skill, their expertise, is hanging right there, saying, choose me. But they're like, I'm too tired. And you got to understand that those are beliefs, because the women that I work with, who I just talked to, who created sustainable success, they realized that they could make room for themselves. And they didn't make excuses about that. Just hear me on it. So, I have a question for you. If we talked 6 months from today, who would you have become? I want you to think about it. If we talked 6 months from today, so let's say we talked 6 months ago, who would you be now? If we talked 6 months from today, that would be January, who would you have become? Not what would you have sold. Who would you have become? Because at the end of the day, I just got a call. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, right? Like, who you gonna become? And this week, the calls that I had, they reminded me that success, it leaves clues. You know, the women who continue growing don't stop investing in themselves, right? They don't stop asking questions, and they don't stop becoming. They don't stop growing. And I'd say, if you're wondering what's next for you, I would love for you to think it through. Reach out to me. You know, let's have a conversation. Because there is something next for you. But it isn't about a package. It isn't about your coaching, your consulting, really. It's about who do you want to become, right? And because that's what this is. Like, every person I talk to, I'm like, who they became. They became more confident, became more sure. They became more clear about their identity, their value, their transformation. And the reason that they're successful is because of that. Okay, got that off my chest. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that there's something that I've said that will move you, that will grow you, that will allow you to have the belief in yourself to reach out, to take the action. And that's what's going to make all the difference, you know, for you. So I hope that there's something I've said to support you. I'd love to hear your comments here. I'll post a link somewhere in this thread where you can apply for a conversation. I would love the opportunity to see what is next for you. Who could you become if you just own the things that are great about you, just prioritize yourself, value the things that you do exceptionally well, and we put those things into something that's your full identity, not a smaller version of who you are. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. I hope you have a great and amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.